Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders saying, what's current? Ah, boy. Meek Mill. Meek Mill, is he winning? Is he winning? I think he is. He has transcended just being another Philly rapper. Got bars, got heat on a record, on a song. And, that's about it. That's all you hear from, Freeway, Cassidy, Beanie Siegel, Petey Petey, all these different names. Even the Fresh Prince, Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like he was, known for multi-platinum success, prior to his slap of Chris Rock. But yeah, so he's doing, the Lord's work. There is no God, but he's doing work that is sets a precedent, along with uh, Jay-Z and another billionaire, last name Rubin. I can't remember his first name. But they're doing the good work. They're doing what's supposed to be done for probation reform. Okay, so it's Michael Rubin. Michael Rubin, Jay-Z, and Meek Mill have uh, what they call reform. They're trying to get the proper probation for various people that are seeking to have freedom again. If they haven't committed a serious crime, or if they didn't commit any crimes at all, but they're locked up behind jail, and then when they get out, they're on probation. Meek Mill, Jay-Z, and Michael Rubin are trying to ease the process for that. So it's this is from WHYY, NPR, and PBS. It says Pennsylvania's probation requirements are changing on a pair of bills signed by Governor Josh Shapiro in the Constitution Center Friday afternoon. He also signed a measure to automatically clear criminal records for individuals who receive a pardon. End quote. Just earlier this year, almost a year ago, the governor pardoned Meek Mill of all his wrongdoings, all his crimes, and it's something that is very pivotal, I think, within the justice system for Meek to come through with the braids on, with the braids on his head. Everybody else is in a business suit. He's got a jacket and it looks like a thermal or a t-shirt or something like that. And it's striking. It's very striking. You see these white faces. You see a white woman and a white man, another white man, another white man, and he's the only black person, it seems, among them. But there's more black people apparently. So I think good on Meek Mill. Salute to him. Salute to Meek Mill. He's not the best rapper. He's a very good rapper. He's a very good rapper. He knows how to string words together. I love his Tony stories. I love anything with a story to it, anything with a narrative. I love that. He has the Tony story going on. But here's something that is completely powerful. He's affecting change. I'll continue. Quote from the article: Shapiro was joined by Philadelphia rapper Meek Mill, who has advocated for probation reform for years after he was harshly punished for his probation violation in 2017. Mill was sentenced to 2 to 4 years in prison for violating his probation related to a 2008 gun and drug case. Further goes on. Mill is co-chair for the Reform Alliance, which has fought to change what they call the supervision to prison pipeline. He spoke tearfully at times Friday about the struggle returning citizens often face maintaining the probation restrictions put in place. So that's it. That's that's a very profound thing. It brought tears to his eyes. He teared up a little bit. Because it's his life. And he later on said, he was glad that he teared up. He cried a little bit because he didn't even cry in his cell. So he needed that. That's what he says as a quote. He needed that release, that bit of pressure taken off of him. And you gotta respect that. I mean, a man can cry. That's something that you can respect. Definitely. It's all right. It's completely okay. Doesn't mean you're weak. Doesn't mean you're a punk. Doesn't mean you're anything like that. Just means that your body is, in your mind, especially your mind is responding to circumstances that are going on around you that may overwhelm you emotionally. But as long as you don't put emotion before your thinking process, there's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. So he's Meek Mill is doing something that is, formidable, uh, you know, something powerful, something that should be seen as blatantly, special. Should be seen as something that is completely warranted and something that you can stand up and be proud for. Because he wanted other people's lives to be changed just as long as his life was changed, and that's rational. That's selfish. So he goes on. This is a direct quote from Meek Mill. He says, "Every time I crossed the Ben Franklin to go pick my mom up to take my son to school in New Jersey, I was actually committing a crime the whole time for technical violations," he said. And that's true. That's a sadness. That's a very real thing. You're going across, lines. You're going over bridges. You're going over, certain jurisdictions, and you could get, in trouble for that. That's what's the reason why they have this probation bill, trying to be intact, because it affects so many people. It affects so many, especially young men of color, who, who like he said, are transporting not kilos of coke or a thousand pills of fentanyl. They're transporting their young child. I mean, that's how ridiculous the whole thing is. Just to see his mom, and just to, what he said. He said, take your son to school in New Jersey. That was a problem. That was an issue. He goes on to say, I didn't ask for this position. I don't want to do it. It's not for clout. It's something that I stand for. It's something that I live for. And I appreciate y'all for helping me. So that seems sincere. So that seems about right. Aside from all the Nicki Minaj drama and the Drake drama and different, issues with the wheel, popping wheelies on the bike motorbikes. I mean, it all comes down to one thing, really. It really comes down to his integrity. And Meek Mill has shown his integrity. I'm giving him credit. I'm not going to hate on him just to hate on him. I'm going to say that he actually stood for his. He represented. He stood up. And like he said, he's not doing it for clout. Not just he's got trying to have a cause, so it just shows that he's a better person than everybody else. No, he's saying that, look, this is what happened to me. I wouldn't want this to happen to anyone else. That's the facts. That's the truth. That's reality. I wouldn't want this to occur on anyone else's time. This is a vicious, probation, idea. So I'll continue. This is from the story. Quote, the legislation requires mandatory probation review conferences after 2 years or 50% of probation sentence, whichever is shorter. It also calls for felony probation reviews after 4 years or 50% of the sentence. Let's see if that may improve. Still got a few pictures of him. It's Hold on, let me make sure who this person is. I think I have an idea who this person is. I think it's from $1 million worth of game. Hold on, still looking for it. He was in. I think this is the same person. It's somebody else. I'm trying to figure it out right now. Who is part of $1 million worth of game? Man. Yes, it is. Okay, so I was making sure. Had to make 100% sure. Okay, had that. Had that. All right. So it's Wallow. Okay. So on one of the pictures is what his government name is, Wallow Peoples, an entrepreneur and friend of Meek Mill, talked about the experience of people struggling for opportunities at a press conference signing probation reform into law in December. This is on Friday. It's just happened, and he's got a hoodie on with a hat. But salute to Wallow. He was in prison for over 20 years. Wallow was in prison for over 20 years. That's a fact. That's something that you have to realize. It says here, quote, at age 17 is part of change.org. At age 17, Wallace Wallow 267 Peebles was sentenced to a 20-year prison sentence for armed robbery, which he served at the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. While he was to turn his life around, not just for him, but to save the lives of others, he is still on probation until October 29, 2048. Good mugger. Whoo, you mess up one time, and he's going to jail again. He's going to specifically prison. We use jail and prison, interchangeably. It's an approximation. When you say, "Oh, he's going to jail," of course they're going to prison, but you say it's an approximation. But yeah, that's pretty serious. They're trying to end probation for Wallace and Meek Mill for Wallow and Meek. This is pretty crazy. It's not just to save the lives of others, which is important, but that's not the whole goal. The whole goal is that he turned around his own life. That's the main focus. But to help other people, that's just a boost. That's just a bonus. One person in, zero now. One person in, zero now. Okay. So I'm looking at the pictures. I see a black woman. I see Latonia Myers, who's on probation 15 years for something she did when meant to say when she was 12. She did when she was 12 years old. Spoke at a press conference celebrating the passage of probation reform in Pennsylvania on December 15, 2023, yesterday. Joanna McClinton, Pennsylvania Speaker of the House, comforts rapper Meek Mill as he spoke emotionally all about the probation reform signed into law on December 15, 2023. Pennsylvania State Senator Lisa Baker, who helped to pass the probation reform bill into law, spoke at a press conference at the National Constitution Center on December 15, 2023. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro signs the Justice Reform Bill 898 into law, surrounded by activists and other lawmakers at the National Constitution Center in Pennsylvania on yesterday. And now, finally, Meek Mill, a rapper and advocate for justice reform, thanked lawyers and lawmakers at a press conference that signed probation reform into law. So that's, I think that's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. I mean, these are lives, interrupted, completely distorted, completely made in disarray when you go to prison. And when you have people like celebrities like Meek Mill and Wallow, it's like, damn, I mean, it could hit anybody. It can touch anybody. And it has to be thousands of people, if not millions of people on probation right now. And, they could have sentences like Wallow's. 2048? God damn. That's some time. He's free. He's out, but he can't do certain things. He can't go certain places. I don't even think he can fly out of the country. I doubt that highly. You can't even go, like Meek Mill said, go across the bridge to another state. Transporting your own child to school. It's just draconian. That's the word that comes to my mind. Draconian laws. People that have either served their time or were exonerated or cleared, and still have probation attached to them. That's just sad. That's what's really, disturbing. That's what really, makes this a case of, an undying, fervor for putting people behind bars and making sure people are in lockstep. We're the freest country in the world. We're not free. We're the freest. There's a difference. We have too many regulations and controls to make this place not as free as it could be. So when people say, "Oh, it's a free country," no, it's not. It's really not a free country. And when you add on the idea that there are 2 million people locked behind bars, the irony deepens. The freest country in the world, according to most estimates, most calculations, according to the Declaration of Independence. That's that's what is so powerful. That's what is so very difficult to digest, because America is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. We know that. But 2 million people plus in our prison systems. Now, what are those offenses? What are those offenses? Are they murder? Are they rape? Are they fraud? Not really. Drugs. Drugs, mainly. Not robbery. Not, people getting, attempted murder or something like that. It's drugs. Drug offenses. Doesn't count for the most of it, but there's a good chunk of it that are drug offenses. And that's mainly people of color. Men and women, who are black and brown, mostly, that are being caught up in the system and never able to see the light of day in some cases, unless it's 1 hour daylight versus 23-hour lockdown. That's the state we live in now. That's where we are. One moment. That's where we live in now. So if we take into account the reality of the situation, the reality of Meek Mill, the reality of Wallow, the reality of so many others, these are just prominent figures. They've been able to show us that we're corrupt in a lot of ways. We're very it's morally bankrupt. What we have a moral bankruptcy. So it just it tears at my heart, tears at my mind, really. to even consider any of this. So if there's anything that we can do, one like, no viewers, I'm feeling it. Okay, well, now we got a viewer. One like, one viewer. Who is it? Come to the chat room. Say something. Billy Spleen. Okay. You're full of shit, Billy Spleen. I'm just telling you right now. I'm going to say respect. I really don't like your ass. I'm going to say respect. I respect your ass. I'm going to salute you. Respect. I do respect you. But you bullshitted on Rick James's death. I mean, come on, man. This is low. Come on, don't be corny like that. I just said what's not liked about me, ass. It's because you try to lie on Rick James's life. That's real corny, man. That's not even. I could see if he died, then you could stomp on his grave and talk about him in all kinds of ways. I would at least respect that. But to say the man's dead and he's really not, come on, that's just super whack. That's corny. But anyway, I digress. Meek Mill, Wallow, they're serious about it. Philly, it's coming from Philly. I think especially in Pennsylvania. I don't know if any other places around the country have similar probation laws or probation restrictions, but it's definitely a breath of fresh air. It's definitely a breath of fresh air to say, this state, the second state to enter the union, who was the first, um, you had an idea of saying, enough is enough. We have to take care of these disgusting laws and these backwards ideas and give people a chance to live their life. They may have, done something wrong, but it wasn't something serious like murder or rape, theft, robbery, fraud, stuff like that. Those are the people that should be filling the jail cells. Those are the ones that should be filling, the prisons. People like that, people like bombers and serial killers and serial rapists and things of that nature. Those are the ones that should be fraudsters. All those people should be in prison. Anything with drugs, anything with just having a firearm, and if you're not a felon, you should be all right. Just as long as you don't discharge it wildly, like Shine or something like that. Just as long as you don't, you break into things. Okay, that was cute. That's cute, Billy Spleen. But once again, you tried to say he was actually dead. He said, "Look in, obituary from the Woods, funeral home." And you said, you were going along with that. And then finally he chimed in and you're like, "Oh no, he's dead to me." Oh, come on now. Let's not kid ourselves here. We don't have time for all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, it definitely moves me in a way because it is something that is very near and dear to my mind, that we should be able to take on all of the different roles of who we really are as citizens of the United States of America. We should be championing people like Meek Mill. We should be championing people like Wallow. It didn't say what Meek Mill's probation. I think his was canceled. I think if you have everything cleared, I think you don't even have probation anymore. No, I was the one confused, sir. All right, matter of fact, maybe I was a little confused at the beginning when I said, okay, is he dead or is he not? I was a little confused what you were saying, and you were saying, yeah, he's dead, and I'm like, all right. And I just said, that's bullshit. Just like your initials, BS, complete bullshit. But I'm still going with the show. It takes a lot of strength and character to go before these halls of state, these courtrooms and these legislative rooms. Um, it definitely takes a bit of courage and an amount of strength that Meek Mill definitely possesses. Apparently, I give him that respect. I give him that benefit of the doubt. Exactly, please, please. I'm not gonna address you. You can go away if you like. I'm not even gonna address you right now. But yeah. So Meek Mill, Wallow, I think they really made it, powerful. They used their celebrity. I'm gonna read from the article. Shapiro said, "This is a quote from the article, not anyone else's quote, but it says Shapiro. It's gonna come up soon." Shapiro said the legislation is designed to be, quote, more fair for all Pennsylvanians, unquote. Quote, we all learned from Meek's case because it shined a light on the injustices in our probation system, Shapiro said. How someone could be sentenced to prison for years for not committing a crime, but for a technical violation of a long probation. On Wednesday, Shapiro signed a bill that would expand the kinds of convictions eligible to be sealed for more public view. That includes things like minor drug felonies and some property-related felony offenses. None other states have adopted similar legislation. So it just goes to show you that they're serious about theirs. They're serious about it. They're not playing around. Governor Shapiro is not playing around. He wants this to end, and this should stem, or this should break off from the from the drug charges. Drug charges should all be stopped. Should all be dropped. I mean, to quote the artist formerly known as Kanye West, Ye, he said the DEA teams up with the CCA. They're trying to lock niggas up. They're trying to make new slaves. I'm like, that's pretty much, it sounds like that's true. CCA is a prison complex organization that oversees, private prisons. As much as I know. Hold on. CCA. Not showing me. Hold on. Core Civic is what it is now. Better the public good. That's their new name. Core Civic. It used to be CCA. It was just over a decade ago, it was CCA. Formerly Corrections Corporations of America. But now it's Core Civic. I just learned something. That's what I love about this show. I always learn something. They make money. They're making billions. Revenue 1.981 billion. Operating income 281.56 billion. Net income 188.89 billion. Total assets 3.792 billion. Total equity 1.377 billion. Number of employees 14,075. So they're this is how it is in America. They're locking niggas up and they're making new slaves, That's what it is. Cause it's all drugs. It's all drugs. Nobody people, oh well, she was murdered. Oh, who cares? Oh, she was raped. Oh my god, he sold drugs? This is terrible. Oh, this is horrible. Did focus on the check-in? I hope you see my your Twitch advertisement up here. Yellow. Hold on. Let me make sure. Do I have it? Yeah, I do. It's blue. And I like how It says 0 viewers right now. 2 likes. If I could get that third like from you, Dot Focus. But yeah, so it's something serious. All right, so that was my little news tidbit for today. I'm gonna do a story time now. Be prepared for the Scales of Splendor, Chapter 3, The Question of the Hess. The battle wanes, but the war continues. Demings and Hess convene. The fluorescent lights flickered in the downstairs of the Hess bunker. Weapons, clothing, and rations lined the walls and tables, respectively. Demings and Flynn sat across from each other as the device ticked more casualties on their side. Deming sighed. I just don't know what to say. Then don't say anything, Hess replied. A sly grin crept onto his face. He reached for a bottle of gin and found 2 glasses. He poured the liquid as rumbles from the fight continued. I know what, he replied again. He spoke again. We can fight them until they get tired. They'll eventually tucker out. The grin remained as the last drop fell into his glass. He raised it. To the costly defeat, he toasted with his wife. And the nerve of that damn girl, Deming spouted. I'm glad you're barren, Hess interjected. What? Demings asked. We don't have children. Try as we may. I can't achieve, and you're like the desert. If we had a child, say a boy, he would have grown up to fall in love with the costly kid, and that would have just further complicated things. It's better this way. The couple stopped. The couple sipped in silence after this remark. Thunder sounds like still echoing from above them. When the dragons first came, they were like our children. I wanted to protect them. I wanted to hold them. I didn't care how massive they were. I wanted to guard them with all my power, Demings admitted. Ah, yes. They sure were magnificent when they landed here. And the costly so brazenly to control over them, I boiled with spite. I wanted them as I wanted them for you. Sure, I could direct them in flight, or just let them be. It didn't matter. I just wanted to see you enjoy the moments of cherishing a living thing beyond me. I like the sacrifice. It's comforting. Demings finished her gin and winked at her husband. If we win, asked Hess corrected. Right, when we win this battle, we may just be able to use the dragons for their scales. I mean, it's a bit selfish. You're damn right it's selfish. Are you on the cautionary campaign, Demi? They're the egotistical maniacs who have not let up on their tyranny against us and those beautiful creatures. So what if those beasts could cure what ails us? It is right that those beings be used only for purposes that would cause them to live, not die for the sake of humans. I'm surprised at you, Demi. The glasses clinked as another mortar ripped through the night sky and exploded in their territory. I just want to keep the dragons and be healed at the same time. Is that asking too much? I mean, we're altruists and all, but can't we just get that little favor from God? Can't we have a God of our own, a child of our own? It's questionable at our age. Even with the dragon's blood from the scales, don't you think they can stave off death? They can produce life? Hess looked at his wife for a long time. He mentioned, Demi, you're just thinking of yourself. You're just scared that our enemy will prevail and the dragons will forever confine the petting zoos and infirmaries. We have to be completely selfless in every regard. It's the Hess doctrine. So why can't we have kids? What curse did God place on us to prevent us from enriching the earth with offspring? These are questions we can't worry about. We have a war to worry about. That's our main focus and identity. A dry chuckle, low and deep, sprouted from Deming's mouth. It was like an ice cube tossing about in a blender. Just what the hell is so funny, Demi? We've got a war to worry about. Don't you think I hear what's going on above our heads? Don't you think I know that young men and women are dying up there on our behalf? Some of them call me mom. I see their faces and wonder if I'll have to tell their parents the news of their lost child. I don't know what's worse, to not be able to have a child or to lose one in battle. She trailed off at the end. Hess just looked across the table. He looked at Dimmons in her eye. Look, I know we're at a point where the fight is thick, and the best thing we can do is keep on with our generals who are doing their damnedest to lead these young people. We have to be proud, I guess. Now look who has the ego. I'm asking, can we mix selfishness with altruism? I'm saying we can mix selfishness with altruism. There's got to be some hybrid, some combination we can make out of the two. A large blast caused dust to fall from the ceiling. It's a constant reminder that we cannot think of ideas, Flindon. They are impotent. They have no place in this war. We must remind ourselves that we are focused on the movements of muscles. Thoughts and ideas just cloud the mind. There's school for that. The government-run school that we will establish after this is all over will teach just that. Pencils and pens and word processors and professors mouthing words will not do when blood is spilt, Dimmons replied. If we could just use the dragon skills and not have them die, Hess sighed. I know. It is the reality of it all. We must not detract from the truth that we are mere mortals. We are dirty lumps of clay made from dust and will return to it. By taking into account all the positions we can take on the Costerlies without resorting to their wicked ways. I know now, as long as I've been on this earth, that the only way is to tie God and society. Hess chuckled. I think you're right. I know I am. With both powers in unison, who can stop us? The gin glasses clinked against the table one last time before Hess put away the gin and reached his hand for Deming to return to the bunker. We must go back to our
Bunker to Bunker by Hi-Fi Sean,
Shut
David
up.
McAlmont, and
Shut
Hi-Fi
up,
Sean,
Siri.
and David McAlmont now.
Jesus. We must go back to our positions, Hess insisted. The Costerly's leaders stood in Leola's bedroom. What did you think about? What did you think? What you did tonight could have cost you your life twice, Gester remarked. Mom, no. Gester looked at her husband after directing this negative phrasing to her daughter. Costly shook his head. Your father and I have decided to bar you from battle. You can take off that diamond get-up and remain confined to the room. Those Hess will never retire until they kick you off the board like a rook or castle. I'm definitely a knight. Anyway, I understand that, but what I will do to aid in the effort for our side, I wanted the dragons to be our first-hand weapons and sources of health altogether. I want to be able to go on the battlefield. But your arm, Gessa argued. I'm still talking, right? I'm still working, and I'm ready for whatever those Hess throw at us. You can plan and strategize up here. We can even arrange to have some lieutenants and captains come in and outline the next attack, Gesta mentioned. Is there a Triaka that I could see? The doctor? I'm sure he's busy with other patients. I'm sure he won't make a house call even by our orders. He helped heal you. Haven't you shown your gratitude by revealing you can maneuver through the obstacles of this magnificent house? Of course, Mom. I just thought we should be able to welcome him and observe how well the scales have acted as a balm. I think he's well aware of that. The scores of warriors who perished before the powerful scales could save them must mar his soul. If we call him up here, then there will be a potential fighter who will not get the care you received and may see death. Viola grew quiet. Her mind became like the whirring of helicopter blades. She in seconds conjured all of her strength and will. She looked at the landscape. Bright flashes of orange and yellow dotted the distance. I want to go outside, she said at last. I meant you can stay in the room, but also walk the grounds of the compound, Gessler replied. That's all I want, really. I'm okay with not going into battle again. I may not be so fortunate next time. Yes, it seems you are starting to see things clearly, Ola. Gester spoke, brightening. I could always work on my combat moves, just as something terrible befell in this household, Leo replied. As the muffled sound of bursting bombs and mortar fire reached the two leader Costly's ears, they knew the only way to protect themselves was to go to their bunker. Leola's chin lifted. You guys go ahead. Return to your stations. I'm sure the rear sight of you will be a boon for those on the ground. But if you send those junior grade officers, make sure they're commanding officers. Let the fighters know that their orders are still being delivered by the daughter of their CEO and co-CEO. Her parents didn't answer for a while. Well, you have the entire complex to yourselves while we are away on the field. Consider yourself fortunate to know your life was spared. That's right. Being cautiously exited and made their way to the front gates. At this time, two dragons breathed fire, forming a cross at the main entrance to the costly compound. A convoy of vehicles carried them back to the bunker. Leola smirked. She retrieved her smartphone and entered the information on the sheet in the hospital by just blowing her breath. Baraka's image appeared, and she could smell the sterile scent of the hospital. Miss Costly, are you well? Now I am, she replied. Shiraka did not blush, but his brow did furrow. Is something the matter? As you can probably recall, sometimes the fluid from the scales can be overwhelming for a few days. What seems to be the problem? Well, I just wanted you to know that I'll be back in the battlefield in a matter of weeks. That's not the memo your parents sent out, and you know it. Spare me the lecture. I just chewed from I just got chewed from the very people you referred to a moment ago. Leola snapped. Miss Costerly. Peart. I think we should be able to call each other by our first names. Don't you think? Triaka straightened and cleared his throat. Well, Leola, I think we can continue this conversation some other time. I'm rather busy at the moment. I only answered to check on your condition. It seems like everything is fine. Whoever you have on staff, tell them to fill in for you. Get one of those better bars to work. Traka laughed. I'm afraid it's not that simple, Miss Leola, he imparted. Why not? There's a chain of command. Your parents, of course, are at the top. I have an array of bosses that are under them. I can only tell people of my rank and lieutenants and enlisted personnel any number of orders, he explained. Yes, I get all of that. So snag one of those LTs and get them on whatever patient you're working on at the moment, the other demanded. That's a direct order from, if I may, a spoiled princess-like figure confined to her bedroom does not match a man who studied the intricacies of human limbic system of the human limbic system when you were sharpening your pencil preparing for a spelling test. Is there a point in there somewhere? Leo asked. I'm Chiaka exclaimed. Then he sighed. We're not supposed to even be talking like this. I know you're an adult, so you ought to understand proper patient-doctor relations. It should be clear. What? Did you think I'm calling you to make you my gentleman caller? Chiaka rolled his eyes. You know I can see you, right? I'm fully aware, so you can see me too. My full battle dress. Does it command your attention? You can smell the perfume I'm wearing. Look, Leola. You can smell the perfume I'm wearing. Chaka cut off the call. How dare he? She thought. I'm putting on my best for his glory, and that's how he treats me? I can get him fired. Next, her screen glowed. It was a message from Triaka. I can be over after my shift. The simple text warmed Leola. It was like a potent potable coursing through her system. Her smile, plastered on her face, gave her a sense of connection to the military physician. When the guards and dragons finally permitted him to go past the entrance, Triaka took the escalator up to Leola's room. He looked at the monitor and noticed that he did not appear. She's down in the war room, sir. A young warrior guarding the compound stated. Thank you, Triaka acknowledged. Down in the war room, gigantic screens projected the various points where the fighters had assembled. Leola, still in her battle dress, sat in a large chair, facing away from Triaka. Does this all impress you, Peart? I've been down here before. Yes, it does. It still does. Do you know why we must defeat the Hess? She asked. Yes, it is to preserve the lives of the dragons for our own selfish usage. Leola swiveled around in her chair. You're well trained. That's going to be a boost. That's story. Once again, Scales of Splendor, Chapter 3, The Question of the Hess. Here we go. All right, so finish that story. I'll take you to another story. How we doing so far? All right. Nobody wants to listen to stories, apparently. Nobody's trying to listen to stories. That's fine. I have 13 minutes to go. And I want to read a little bit of nonfiction. And before that, though, I'm going to do a couple advertising breaks. If you want to try out, I've never tried it. I can't recommend it. But if you want to go to the site, which is beautiful, it's a great site, check out Peng's products from Lifestrong Co. Apparel. Tell them Scholar Saunders sent you. Also, subscribe to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. He's got neo soul, soul, R&B, quiet storm, smooth jazz, all in different collections. So definitely appreciate this man's work, and be sure you subscribe. Also subscribe to B Jackson. That's BeeJackson 5478 on YouTube. Make sure you let him know that I sent you, that you enjoy his cooking shows and his bottles of beer. He just has a good time, it seems. Also, make sure that you check out Dot Focus's Twitch. It's Dot Focus, DOTFOCUS _ just one underscore, not a long underscore, just one underscore. Should pop up anyway, but just in case it doesn't, it's just one underscore. So everybody's out for the day. I don't know what's going on. What's happening? You sleeping in, or you going shopping? What's the deal? Got 0 viewers. Got 2 likes. I think 2 people came in. I'm gonna still do these stories. That's part of what I do. See, I ain't like you. That's a stand. Yeah. I'm not a homicidal, closeted homosexual, suicidal maniac either. That's Stan. That's a stand. Closeted and murderous and suicidal. It's not a good look. So great song. Probably one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. Stan. Great song. Great track. 4 verses. Tells a whole story. It's a complete narrative. It's great. But let's continue on with the other. Okay, I got 10 minutes to do. All right, so this is the Scales of Splendor, Chapter 4. When Dragons Fly Over Water. Leola schemes. Triaka prepares officers. The Brandywine River refrigerated ships. Hess had fashioned from their government rations a low-level vessel out of scrap metal. Costly had designed state-of-the-art, all-around, technologically advanced ships that followed after the Dragons. At this point, the ships were docked 300 yards away. Leola saw all this in her room on her tablet when Triaka had left. God damn it! I've got to get on that boat, she whispered to herself. This time she did not don her regal battle attire. Instead, she sized up a female guard named Lindsay Donnan in a camouflage blouse and trousers. At her presence, the guard snapped to attention and saluted. All right, Lindsay, say what? Say, what if I were to take your uniform and I give you leave for a week? For a week? Yep. Nope. Huh? Make that 2 weeks. Fair deal. The two young women moved to a secure location within the compound and exchanged clothes. What Lindsay wore consisted of the sweatpants and t-shirt that Leola had on in her room. Okay, I need to ask you another favor, Leola mentioned. You're leaning on 3 weeks now, Lindsay responded. I need those camis. Okay. She signaled for them to procure a vehicle to get down to the ship. What the hell were you thinking? Lindsay asked. I just need to be in the war. If I can't be on a dragon, I'd rather be fighting some other way, Leola replied. And we're here, Lindsay announced. Thanks for this, Linz, Leola mentioned. 3 weeks should be nice. Lindsay hopped into the driver's seat and sped off from the pier. Lindsay's rank as a second lieutenant called for the enlisted to salute Leola under the impression that she was actually the officer. Leola walked aboard and quickly slid past the upper level brass. She crept up to a bulkhead and then a stanchion. By skulking, she found the control room. Commanders and captains occupied the place where she wanted to be. She knew that she would have to tread boldly but deftly. The ship began motion. In all the ways she could have just left well enough alone, she crouched and backspun and jetted her way past the galley, past the personal quarters, and just hung out in the ready room. No one was in there. She just observed coordinates and strategies. That was until the light clicked on in the room. Miss Leola, Triaco wondered. Shh. Triaco closed the door behind them. What the hell? Shh. I don't know how you got on the ship, but I'm sure your parents wouldn't appreciate it. You were under my care. I thought that you'd stay at the compound. What you're doing? What are you doing? A faint smile crossed his face. I can ask you the same thing. Why are you floating on a boat? I'm here to address the military men and women on how to dress women and repair them for the scales. Oh. Oh. You act like I just said we're going out for love, luck, and lollipops. Must I remind you we are at war? Those hests will cease at nothing to bring your family's good name down and drag everyone associated with it. Draka huffed. No sign of a smile remained on his face now. I just meant that you're here and that's cool. You're doing your job. You're a professional. I get it. I hope you do. The camis don't fit perfectly and the camis didn't fit perfectly and they kind of tugged on her at her arms and she had to reposition herself. She finally rose. It was the most comfortable position. I could report you. I could say that Miss Leola Costly has gone rogue and is away from her position of safety. I could say you have departed from your designated place. What would you do then? Trauco raised his eyebrows and placed his hands behind his back. She charged. I'll put you in the brig, on the sea or land, whichever I find most fitting. Trauco laughed. You really must be tired. You're talking out of your head. Aren't you glad you saw me? Trauco paused for a moment. I'm glad to know that you are healthier than when I first saw you, he replied. Aranon, they'll breathe. Yes, Aranon. He was a gem. What a mighty beast that one. God damn this war, Shapiro declared. The scales of splendor are what continue to fuel it. I think they're worth dying for. What do you think? I think we should take you back to the compound, Shapiro said. No, I've already proven myself in battle, she replied. You should go get a medal, princess, Shapiro replied dryly. Maybe I would have had to earn it, though. And stop with all that princess stuff. I'm a warrior alone. I am the daughter of business people. What the hell would you know about business? In school, I majored in business administration. I then switched to medicine, and now I'm here talking to a little brat who can't tell how fortunate she is not to be a corpse. Thank you, Dr. Triaka, she replied drily and rolled her eyes. I'm serious. My team did a hell of a great job on you. Without their expertise, your parents would be making space in the costly plot. Yes, I agree, and Aranon. Neola responded wistfully. Chaka breathed heavily. They're for our use. We become attached to the dragons, but they are to be used. Not misused or abused, but simply used to save human lives. Of course, of course. I don't mean to be hest about it if that was what you were implying. No, no. I just wanted to remind you what this war is about and that we must be victorious. We will. The night had fallen, the ebb and flow of the water turning the minds of the ship's crew. The USS Nancy Vaughan, named after a young corporal who had perished in a battle against the Hess, proved to be a bastion of excellent engineering. For all the ways that the opposition could have countered the Costarleys, this vessel could launch aircraft like letting fireflies dance in the night. Its capacity featured the best in nuclear power and kept up an even keel, even while being threatened by other ships. It took the entire time for the crew to gather intelligence against the enemy. Admirals had just sat down from their stations in Newark to engage with severe prejudice and any forces that dared to rise up against the costly fleet. Lines drawn, the capacity of the ship to destroy any submarines were met with superior ones. The power, the very might of the ships rested in the minds of the men and women who worked on them. Leola had a few friends aboard. She just didn't want to have them know. There were Commander Berto Quint. He instituted a strong command and ordered without malice but with heavy delight. He drew up the plans for the nuclear jets to fly over the fields to save the dragons from being overused. He put all of his strength in fighting for the costly cause because he had been sent to college based on Gaston Costly's trust that he would fight. Their investment paid off, and Quince projected the thoughtful warrior who knew how to battle with strategy instead of brute force like the Hess. 90% of the ordnance and armaments had been crafted from a 3D printer as well. While small arms certainly could fulfill the requirements, he knew that the machine had to produce bombs and rockets in addition to the rifles and grenades. Kitz's mind slowed and his thoughts became clearer still. He observed the various digital charts of the number of wounded and dead reported on both sides. He outlined the specific spots for the jets to bomb certain targets. All this since what he had learned infused his ease and calmness. He typed out a report with aplomb to be sent to the higher ups. In recognition of his efforts, he had been awarded the Costly Cross when he was shot down and saved the life of his co-pilot. He had dragged him 50 feet away from the wrecked aircraft, and while laying down suppressive fire, he didn't boast about it. He just kept it to himself and continued on his missions. Now, if he asked if he would say, I selfishly saved the life of my friend and killed those who tried to kill us. He didn't say in an elevated voice, just cool. At the time of his latest official missive to the admirals, he had just sipped coffee with a costly emblem emblazoned on the mug. He sipped slowly. He then said the top secret letters. They all consisted of the coordinates to where the Hess had hid their weapons caches. He sighed. He left from his compartment and continued out of the hatch when he bumped into the door. Ola, my God, what are you doing here? I'm undercover for my folks. He looked at her across. Donnan, you dragged Lindsay into this? It's the only way I could be able to say less. He then looked down the hallway. He noticed Triaka walking down the passageway towards them. Triaka. We got to go in here, Leola demanded. The officer and the daughter cramped into space and watched Triaka walk past into the hatch. What was the rush about? Kuntz asked. I want to talk to you. I'm busy. Leola looked at all the equipment powered down. I was busy. Are you in the captain? No, yes. I mean, please don't say it. It's complicated. No, I mean, we're just talking. Talking. He helped to save my life. He's intelligent. I think he's something special. Quince paced. You know how old he is, right? I do. And that he outranks me. I'm aware. This could get awkward. Yes. I want you to get off the ship and go back to your compound. If you think you are in trouble on the Dragon, you'll see how messy things get when you involve superior and lower grade officers and friendships. We're going to have to sort this one out. It simply won't do. Leola searched in her mind for a proper response. Something she could say about the situation that would be clear, concise, and complete. She opened her mouth. It's not complicated. She pushed out a puff of air. Your mom and dad will flip it if they find that a man in his 40s is with their precious daughter. A man in their military as well, Quince said. Whom should I be with? You? Leola questioned. We're strictly friendly. You know that, Ola. He countered. If it's worth anything, we've not been involved in any way that you may be thinking about in your head, Leola replied. I hope not. I'd hate to see the captain's head roll from being with the CEO's offspring. I just have misgivings about the whole situation. You won't have to worry. The good Dr. Triaka is so adamant about taking me and locking me up in that room that I'm not even considering going further with our relationship. I'm glad to hear that. What we have to do is consider this turmoil we have found ourselves experiencing. This war is going to test us in ways we may never understand. This war is for healing. Yes, the Dragons drive our economy, and the captain and I are on the brink of gaining our stars one day based on what we do today. That sounds about right. Hey, don't tell me my folks that came on the ship, okay? If you stay out of the way and keep quiet, you have my word. Commander Quince replied. She left to hug him with sincere and friendly affection. The faint sound of bombs bursting still reached the ships. A few dragons flew over the water in formation like jets. Leola and Quince looked at each other and exchanged solemn glances. They both knew that they needed to grasp the entirety of everything around them and digest it with a definite and true caution. So that's the next story. That's the last story for today. And it looks like nobody gave a damn. On the rebroadcast, you can enjoy it though. I got one person in here. I don't know who it is. I hate everyone TV. Salute. I'm sure you're from I'm sure you're from the hater from the Star Report. So you're new here, to my knowledge. I don't remember you being here before. So I asked whoever's new, where's that donation? Because I get donations for a good cause. This good cause is so near and dear to me. It is something that is very important and vital and great. And I would appreciate it if you contributed to this good cause. What is this good cause? My bank account. My bank account is that good cause. I will definitely be able to take your funds. Come, I hate everyone to me. He says, is this female or male? I think it's a male. Most definitely come to show support. I respect that. Thank you very much. Tell 4 other people about this show. And don't tell 5 people. Just tell 4. If you can't, contribute to my bank account. Thanks for the like, by the way. I enjoy the like. But don't let the fifth person say, who is that goofy ass nigga with the hat and the tie and the shirt? Who is this goofy nigga? Let that happen. Just tell 4 people. Don't tell 5 people. Let the fifth person wonder and guess. I was just about to sign out, but since you came in the room, I definitely will salute you. I hate everyone TV. I think that's a great title. Brings a smile to my face. I hate everyone TV. Hate everyone. Hell with it. Shit. Hey, if you do this, I will promote you. I can't really, super promote you until you cross a $50 line for my donations. I'm serious about this. I'm serious about my bank account too, but especially this. Okay, the more that wants you donate, that's fine. Find some way, to. Well, here, if you have this way, here's something that you can do. You can donate this way. Do you have Cash App by any chance? If you have Cash App, that's my Cash App right there on the screen. If you have Cash App, or I take some viewers take this PayPal, or keeps going. I have in store for you. Yeah, you can't give me money through this app. Whether it's on a mobile device or it's on a desktop or a notebook. But you can contribute through Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. That I do know. I know that for a fact. All right, salute to you. I appreciate that. And like I said, $50 will get you promotion. Everybody that's on here has I have spoken to has ads. They have contributed at least $50 in 1 month, and they have contributed $50 in more months. But you have to contribute at least one time $50, and I'll give you a wrench so you can promote on your own. So it's a good deal. I try to keep it cheap right now. Next year might be a little higher. I might go up to $75 or $100. We'll see. But I do appreciate you. I hate everything TV. I'm just gonna say hate. Right now it says hate. But I have to check you out. I have to check your show out. I'll be checking for that in a few. I hate everyone TV. That's one of the best names I've ever heard for a show or some kind of creative, offspring. So some kind of idea. But definitely appreciate it. This looks like we could go, another 2 hours. I can go on for 2 hours. I can run my mouth. I don't have any more notes. I'm not. I mean, I can say another story, but I want to be locked onto the screen. I appreciate just the 2 people that came in, and I have 3 likes. I think that's cool. There's less people that I can see. You might see somebody different, but now it's down to 1 person. But it was up to 2 people and 3 likes. So I like that. 1 person and 3 likes is cool. But I can run my mouth as long as I want. That's the beauty of having your own show. It's so great. So great. 3 people in here with 3 likes. People coming in. I hate everything TV says going to send through PayPal. So I'm going to be looking for that PayPal donation whenever it comes in. I'll be satisfied. So salute to Abdul. Abdul's on the check-in. Abdul was on point. He had bars. I don't know, what was it, Thursday or Wednesday? Abdul had bars. He was on point. He was definitely on point. Got 4 likes. Feeling that. 2 people in the room. I'm going on there. I could go, till whenever. I'm not. I might watch some, college football later. What? Might watch. I might do a review. Might do, a review for a movie that I thought was harsh and terrible and beautiful and gorgeous all at the same time. Hell, I'll go with it. Hell, it's called First They Killed My Father. It's about the Khmer Rouge in 1975 when they took over Cambodia, and the smart people, the people with glasses, people with degrees, according to Dr. Jerome Brook. This is where I get most of my information from. He says that all the time. That they had glasses on, if they had degrees, if they were smart or something like that. Because that's the thing with equality. That's everyone wants to be equal. Equality. Egalitarianism. You should be equal before the law, not anything else. Not equal in ability or equal in facial features or physique or anything like that. It should be equality before the law. You should be held accountable for your actions, just like anyone else should be. But okay, I'll try to get into this movie. Okay, so it's very little dialogue, very little. It's not very Aaron Sorkin-y. It's not going back and forth with that pitter patter, rat tat tat, vocal patterns and speech patterns. But it's directed by Angelina Jolie. Go figure. She did an excellent job in this movie. And this movie came out in 2017. I'm just figuring out that it exists. It didn't win any awards that were too major. I don't think it should have won many awards. I think it couldn't qualify for best foreign film or something like that. So, but anyway, to the story. It's about this. The movie is seen through the eyes of this little girl who's like having fun and living a life and eating as much as she wants, and she's wearing dresses that are nice, and all of that changes. Some soldiers come through here with AK-47s, and they round up people and they make them to dye their dresses and berry juice and ink to make them all not non-individuals, to socialize them in a sense, to collectivize them. And so the story just basically goes through the horrors of the Khmer Rouge, and it is an excellent, well done, well shot, great cinematography. Kind of harsh. It was kind of harsh. It was kind of gory. But the whole point was the human spirit fighting against corruption and evil. That was the whole point of the movie. The whole point is about this little girl. She had her brothers and her sisters, and she tried to fight her the best she could, given all the different struggles that were in her way, and she did it. She won. So maybe I shouldn't have said that, but part of the I won't tell you the details of her win, but overall, it was dedicated to the men and women who died in the Khmer Rouge, and people that still don't know or still don't care. Sadly, everybody should care about this story. Everybody, I don't care who you are, where you're from, you should care about this story because it's factual, it's true. Um, it let me see. They said that a quarter of the Cambodian population was killed in the Khmer Rouge. They called it the killing fields. Nation the Great. Salute to you, though, Skylar. Nation the Great. I think you're new too. Salute. So I say, everybody who's new, I say, where's that donation? You're new. So that's what you get. I respect you, though. Salute. Okay, well, I'm saying, have you checked into the chat room? I don't remember you checking. I'm stupid. I have a terrible memory. Donation sent. Salute. See, hey, you could be new or you may not be new, and I'm looking for 20s and 50s and hundreds. If you can drop just that, little amount, I appreciate it. I would sincerely appreciate it. So, just like I hate everyone TV, donation sent. That's what I like to see from you, Nation. Nation the Great, donation sent to my PayPal, my Venmo, or my Cash App. All those are available to you. They're all up there. If you just scroll up where the top chat is, you can see Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, whatever is more convenient for you, whatever works for you, works for me. I appreciate all the donations. So that was the story. That was the movie. I'll give it an A. Maybe not an A plus. Maybe not an A. Definitely not an A minus. It's just an A. Excellent work. Excellent. Out of 4 stars, 4 stars. Maybe it is A plus. It struck me in such a way. I was just like, this is hell. This is like, they said explicitly, it's in subtitles, where they're like, there is no more individualism. There is no more, they said exactly what it's like. The complete and utter opposite of what America stands for. Reason, individualism, and capitalism. They stood for mysticism, collectivism, and altruism. And that's what's so amazing about, so I think I might have talked about this movie briefly before. PayPal, okay, good to go. I respect that. PayPal, all right. I'll definitely look for that. I appreciate you. Thank you. I hate everyone TV, or hate everyone. I think I'll just say hate everyone. Hate everyone. But I think I spoke about this movie. I just forgot because I'm stupid like that. I can't remember. But it's like they had to have some kind of connection to the good. Everybody has to have a connection to the good, or what it is purported as the good, or they couldn't do it. Hitler couldn't just say, "Oh, we're about to kill 6 million Jews and more people beyond that, and it's going to be a catastrophe. It's going to be horrific. It's going to be horrendous, and it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be terrible." No, he couldn't. He couldn't say that. He had to say, "Oh, well, we are the master race, and this is good, and everyone who has blue eyes, and blonde hair are good, and we have to live for the state, and the state is all about being the true essence of what it is to have." I mean, you wouldn't be able to have that. He had to say that. He couldn't say the former. I mean, so many, and in this, they said, Ankar or Ankar. I'm be pronouncing it correctly, but it will provide for us. Will be the great supreme leader. Will be the great ideal. Is the one thing that's true for the Khmer Rouge. Like, they couldn't say, "Oh, well, millions of people are going to die. It's going to be blood running in the streets, and you'll be a rebel child soldier. You have to walk lock and step, and be regarded as nothing more than a unit that can do work, and that's about it." They couldn't say that. You can't sell that. You can't sell that. We have to sell. Oh well, Ankar is going to give us the greatest life possible. It's going to be the leader. It's going to be the greatest. It's going to be the leader. That's why we have to change America for the better. We have to have reason, individualism, and capitalism. We have to have those core, basic ideals. Those are the three things that tie us together as human beings in this country, as individuals in this country. That's what makes it so important. That's what makes it so true. The fact that we have today people who are, focused on, socialism or fascism, and may not even know what they are. They may not even understand what socialism and fascism are. They may not have a clue. They may have no clue as to what it is. I got a question. I hate everyone. Hate everyone to me. I just looked at the PayPal. All you need is a few more, and you're in. You got a wrench, and you can promote everything you want to do. I salute you. Respect to you. Thank you for that. That's one of the biggest donations I've had. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it if you're still here. I appreciate it. So definitely appreciate that donation, sir. All you need is like $2 and something cents, and you're good. You're good for $50 for the month, and you'll be added to the list of people that have donated. Definitely appreciate that. Am I saying sir or is it a female? I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want to call you out your name. Are you a female? But anyway, I haven't finished it, and I plan to finish it. But another film is Leave the World Behind. So far, excellent. I mean, movies are back. They're not, TV is great, but I think movies are back. Since last year, what we have, Top Gun. I'm trying to think of the other movies, but this year we have. I haven't seen it yet. I can't debate it. But Barbie, I saw Oppenheimer. Loved Oppenheimer. Very thoughtful, very cerebral, very connected to this world. Wasn't talking too much about people in different lands and different or different mystical lands or something like that. It was very tied down to truth and very sobering kind of movie. It was worth its 3 hours. It's some movies are not worth 3 hours. Like The Irishman, just not worth 3 hours. I just wanted to see everybody. Like I think I said with everybody, it was like we just want to see how he died. What happened to him? Is he under the field in the Giants field? Hoffa. We just want to see how Hoffa got dispatched. And they have a clever way of dispatching him. By the way, well, I'm about to say Matt Hoffa. What's his real name? What's his name? Jimmy Hoffa. That's it. Jimmy Hoffa, allegedly, buried under Giants Stadium field, something like that. And that didn't happen. I'll just say that. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll give you that as a fact. That didn't happen in The Irishman. But if I had to say, but movies are back. I think movies are back. Leave the World Behind. It really It's unsettling. It's very disturbing. You know, it's not all that, happy go lucky. It's very, it's very, moving and thought provoking. It makes you have ideas. That's what I love. I love any movie that makes me think. Wait a minute, what is about that? What is it about that about a life? What is that about? What can that? What can I can understand that? That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of thing that I enjoy. So, um, people that say, you know, you know, why don't you just, why don't you just be, a published author or something like that? Why don't you, or I write screenplays, so why don't you get them produced? Because it's like, whoa, 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 here we go. So this guy, I'm here, I'm watching the stream and just out Christmas shopping. Okay, Mel. I'm hiring genius, but for those who are interested in history, exactly, yes. So okay, you're male. Good to go. I didn't know your name doesn't really give away whether your gender is, or if you have a non-binary, whatever the case may be. But salute to you. Salute to you, especially for that donation. If you didn't catch what I said before, all you need is like $2 and something cents. Wait, let me see how much. Let me. Yeah, you need $2.25, and you'll be 50. You'll be in the club. You'll be in the 50 club. Anybody else? Let me see. I gotta put that down. Hold up. I'm terrible at math, so I can't agree with you there. I can't agree. It was like too slow. It was kind of plotting. I think the cinematography was good, and the editing is always good in a Scorsese film. But I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't get why this is 3 hours long. I couldn't understand. And of course, the idea of the various gangsters and whatnot. I couldn't really represent to go too hard with that. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. $47.75 raised. $112 and I'm still doing the work, y'all. Still doing the work. Just give me some time. Still, this is what happens when you fail algebra for four quarters straight. Every quarter I fail every semester. Okay, so that's where we are right now. Yeah, we can talk about some movies. We can talk about some books. We can talk about everything. We can talk about TV. We can talk all that. Um, I've been trying to watch Slow Horses, but it's like literally too slow for. I don't. It's gonna be a time where it's gonna catch me because Breaking Bad caught me. I was like, "What the hell is this?" I didn't see the first, just a few episodes. I don't even think I saw the first season. But I think I saw the second season. I said, yo, this is crazy. This show is that real show. This is reality right here. This is what's going on. So I was enamored by Breaking Bad completely. And it goes up there with The Wire, The Sopranos. I know Mr. Troy starts to rain. He's got, beef with The Sopranos. Not a beef, but he just didn't like it. He didn't, he didn't like all that Goomba, gabagool and bunch of, dirty Sicilians probably, walking around on the show. Filthy Sicilians, as he would say. He was just not with the La Cosa Nostra thing. But this is the thing. I think he just he knows, but he doesn't really say it. It's the fact that it's not even about the gangsters and everything. It's about the filmmaking and it's about the TV making, or the cinematography and the sound and the acting and all that. The fact that they're just a crime family is just a front. It just goes out as a front. It doesn't really pertain to all the different metaphor and personification and all the different ways that English, all the MFAs in the room, in the writer's room had. I might as well put my MFA to use. Use irony and onomatopoeia and different words and different character names and sounds and stuff like that. So that's one thing that I noticed definitely from that. So I'm gonna see if I can do a very quick story. Let's see if I can do it. Okay. So that's part of that. That's part of that decision. So appreciate the donation. That's what you got. This is the whole point of this shit. You gotta earn it. You gotta put your I do my stories. I do research. I looked into what Meek Mill understood as his right for going against the draconian laws of probation. So I respected that. And then I got to a point where I said, I'm gonna do a story. Hell with y'all. I appreciate y'all, but let me do my own thing. Let me do my story. That's nobody else really does that I know of. I do. I read fiction and nonfiction. I read mostly fiction though. I'm proud to say that. I'm happy to say that. So I can talk my, off. I'm trying not to cuss at all. Try not to cuss. Try not to swear. No, well, I'm looking forward to the movie Barbie. Actually, it won not won. It garnered $1 billion in the box office. I wonder if it's worth the time. Apparently, it is. I've seen so many clips of it and different parodies and satire of it that it might be something worth watching. So I'm probably look into that. Greta Gerwig. I know this is one of her biggest movies of all time. Maybe probably is her biggest movie. She usually does smaller not independent, but just smaller movies. I'm trying to think what she's been in, what directed she's. She's 40. That's some old coochie. I think you can still say coochie. Yeah, she had independent films. And Lady Bird, it grossed over $78 million against a $10 million budget. It was well received by critics. So that's pretty beautiful. I mean, she came up through the ranks. I don't know why my nose get itchy in here. My voice goes crazy. Maybe it's because of this basement. Let's see. Let- um, I have to talk about the way that this system is structured. I have to appreciate the fact that I just did a survey with YouTube. They didn't give me any coupons or any free meals or anything like that. No, they didn't give me that. But I got to speak my mind. I said, it's kind of difficult to get money on here, and I'm not getting money on YouTube. I just get money from the Cash App, PayPal. Haven't got anything from Venmo, but I could get that one day if somebody so chooses. I appreciate that. I appreciate. I say it now, the full thing. I hate everyone TV. Salute to that channel. I wanted that person to give me that $2.25. Cause shoot, that's what we talking about. $47.75 raised, $112.25 to go. Let's get it. I didn't put the dollar sign. Oh, well, you understand. You get it though. If you know, you know. I mean, it all comes. I mean, that's the number one genre right now, hip hop. But it's probably the most destructive, probably most glamorizing the gutter, glamorizing ugliness in the world. And could you imagine? Just imagine if instead of their rappers, they were composers. Could you imagine that? There's thousands of rappers, hundreds of thousands, maybe a million rappers around the world, and we know about a fraction of that have actually made it. Maybe 200 to 300 out of a million that have achieved platinum or greater success. And we're stuck on stupid. I think myself included. I'm stuck on stupid. We just keep cheering on the same bullshit that comes down the pike. We keep cheering on all the same ratchetness and backwardsness that is shown through the various channels of hip hop and rap music. Now, that's a beautiful art form, and it was made by FBA, Foundational Black Americans, in the 40s. Yeah, and then I know they're saying 50 years, 1973, but they had bebop. That was not even close just to the name, but to actual reality, the truth of bebop, the improvisation, the different wording and wordplay, and the different things like that. Very close to what we know as hip hop today. So, hate to burst anybody's bubbles, but it's not just 50 years. It's probably around 80 years or more. So that just cuts to the bone marrow of the truth and the reality of it. So hip hop, I don't know. I wouldn't say it saved my life or anything stupid, crazy like that, but I respect hip hop. I had to grow. It's a weird journey. Here's my hip hop journey. I didn't know what the hell it was at first. I'm like 4 or 5 years old, and I'm saying I've been working on the railroad. Like, that was my cut. That was my jam. I've been working on the railroad. Then I had my sisters, and they're listening to Total, SWV, 702, all these different Escape, TLC. They listen to female R&B, and then they're like changing the words to female or to male words. But Boys to Men, Next, Blackstreet, so many others. Jodeci. So those were the days. I listened to the R&B first, and then they got to the point where it was like not even talking about R&B as much. They're talking about hip hop. They're talking about rappers. I was like, what the hell is a rapper? Who was a rapper? And then here like Biggie and like there's Mary J. Blige and like they're real hip hop. They're real street. They're real rugged and raw. And now I'm thinking like LL Cool J and Queen Latifah and who's OPP? Oh my God, who's OPP, y'all? Tell my dumbass. I cannot. I'm gonna look it up. I can't. I hate that. God damn it. I can see him. I can hear him. Naughty by Nature. God damn. It took me that long. Had to look it up. Naughty by Nature. That may have been my first song I've ever heard from a hip hop group. I can remember. It was outside of a library. I was in the back seat, and I was like at least 4 years old. It had to be like 3 years old, maybe. I must have been like 3 years old. And it was on the radio, and then like OPP, man. And I'm just like, what is going on right now? So yeah, I was like 3 years old at that time period. But getting back to my sisters, my older sisters listen to R&B, all the time. And then, instead of the saxophone breaks, there were rap breaks. That would be the bridge. They would serve as the bridge to the song. So I kept on moving. I kept on understanding. There was a kid named Nate that was in my neighborhood. He was a good guy. We got into tussles from here and there, but we had a neighborhood friendship. We're not friends today, like tight. We're not cool like that. We respect each other. I saw him at his sister's funeral, actually. But yeah. So anyway, he introduced me to most of the hip hop that is now regarded today. The first Jay-Z song I ever heard was Ain't No Niggas. Ain't No Niggas was the first Jay-Z song. First Nas song I think I ever heard was If I Rule the World. And even before that was Snoop Dogg. And the first thing, when he was Snoop Doggy Dogg, the first thing I heard from him was Gin and Juice. So this is a weird period for me. This is a weird time because I'm still growing. I'm like 7 or 8. I'm growing past that. I'm maybe 8 or 9 or maybe close to 10. And I'm listening to DMX, Big Pun, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, all these different artists, and those are just a few. But it was clear to me that I could understand the differences and the different flows, the different different ways they form their words, the speech patterns, the specific words they chose. That's what fascinated me. It kept going. He taught me, on the bus, like you don't have to dance, like you just sit there and cool, just be cool. I wanted to be like and dance, you know what I mean? Like I'm listening to the music. Like I hope I don't get a copyright strike, but one of the favorite things I heard from and then I'm gonna cuss. I'm gonna cuss this one time. But one of the favorite things I heard from Pun was ha 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 ha. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. I get it right. Remember me? Remember me from the back of the class? From the back of the class, the glasses, the one you used to laugh at? You like fruit? I'm chewing on your girl's nipples. How you like them apples, asshole? That's from Pun. That was great. That was great. I remember that now. So it's just little things like that, that charged me, to further understand what hip hop was, and then it expanded. It just kept on growing. It was like a virus. It just kept on getting spread. It spread from just a nook and a cranny into every facet of life in the world. And one thing I remember, I don't remember my first Tupac song. My first Biggie song, I think, was "One More Chance." But for Tupac, I think the first song was "How Do You Want It," or I think that was the first one I ever heard from Tupac. And it was funny because, well, it wasn't funny, but it was strange. It was weird how I remember, my mom circling, onto the fairway, onto the the street, the main street, and it was like breaking news: Tupac Shakur has been killed, or has been shot. Or maybe this was when he died. I think it was when Tupac Shakur has died from his injuries or something like that. And my mom just said, "Live by the sword and die by the sword." I was like, "Whoa, that was crazy." I was like, "That trying to hit me," And then of course, this is an era when it was like we had to regroup. Even Diddy, even Puff Daddy, who's in trouble, more so than ever in his life. Um, he had to regroup. He had to change his whole style, to the shiny suit man look and everything like that. And I remember "More Money, More Problems" came out. I remember rapping to that. BIGPOPPA, no info for the DEA. Exactly like that. And then of course Mace. Mace had "Bad, Bad, Bad, Bad Boy." It was like that. That kind of charged me. That kept me going. That's what helped me out. And just paying attention to all these different rappers, and then came the Golden White Boy, Eminem, in '99. He had a previous project, I think in '97 or '98, but his biggest debut, I think it was the some shady LP. Let me make sure. So, yeah, it came out in '99. His second studio album, and this would rocket him to the top. This is what brought him, fame and fortune. All the doubts. And I remember the skits. I remember the skits. I remember the King Kniff. And, different things like him with Dre and yeah. I'm gonna go back a little bit, but I'm gonna stay on this one for a second. He and Dre, them together, on Guilty Conscience. I thought that was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was funny and terrible and horrible and ecstatic at the same time, and off the charts. I just loved it. It was great. So that definitely kept me going. But before that, this is the era of music videos. Like they have music videos now, but it's more fractured. It's not. I mean, they have BT jams. I know we don't have BT jams because of our our network setup. But I would like to see BT jams again because I just like to discover new. I would have never heard about Eminem. I would have never heard about Nelly. Well, maybe I would have heard about Nelly, but definitely not Eminem. And so many other artists without music, MTV and BET and different things like that. But I never had my chance to see who they were. But that was the best part of it. That was the best part, to be able to discover all these different artists and know that they were great, that they were wonderful, they had the goods. I remember, Holla Holla Ja Rule song, and I beat Nate to say, and there was a young girl who said her first name was Holly, so I was like Holly Holly. He wanted to do it, so I beat him to it. I wonder how she's doing. How's Holly doing right now? What is going on in her world? Hope she's safe and sound, ready for this holiday season. Yeah, so my journey to hip hop is very, fractured. Then it came to a point where I was like, man, I can't get down on this bling bling. Every time I come around and say they bling bling and all this, talking about money and cash and downgrading girls and women, that's not cool. So I was like, I'm super conscious right now. I'm all about the consciousness. So what do? I listen to Pheromones, Talib Kweli, Mos Def, very few like that. I listen to the Beat Nuts. The Beat Nuts are fun. Beat Nuts are a lot of fun. You should check them out if you haven't. Beat Nuts are crazy good, but they're not really conscious. But they have the song. The trouble is he's crazy. The trouble is he drinks, and so that's definitely special. But this is like around 2001, 2002. I still like Jay. Jay was the rapper. He was like, I can understand why people were saying he's the GOAT. He's the Jay-Z of, he's the MJ Michael Jordan of hip hop, of rap. He's the best ever. I understand why they were saying that. 2001, he dropped on September 11th his monumental Blueprint album. Then he had a string of albums. He had 8 albums in 7 years. That's extraordinary. I don't think anybody's done that ever since. So that's something to be applauded. But it came to a point where I was like, well, I like this, quote unquote gangster stuff and this quote unquote materialism rap and all this stuff. But then I like the consciousness too. I like thinking about more than this what you have wearing around your neck and what you have on your feet, how many girls you can get, which is okay, of course, but that's around the time period where I was like, okay, I gotta switch up my style. I gotta switch it up. So 2003, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, Ye. He dropped Through the Wire, and I was like, this is the guy. He's not better than Jay-Z rapping wise or anything like that, but he is better as an artist. There's a difference. As an artist, he completely changed the game. Completely changed how it is supposed to be. And it's a sad shame that he has come to this point where, he had a lustrous career. His first album, monumental. Second album, monumental. First album was College Dropout. Second album was Late Registration. Third album, Graduation, lesser classic. Fourth album, 808s and Heartbreak, lesser classic. Fifth album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, monumental. Sixth album, I'm not counting the compilations, but sixth album, Yeezus, that was monumental. That was his last monumental album, and the rest were lesser classics are just not up to par. It's not up to par. So we should be very cautious of who we follow. I did the same thing. I did the same thing with Kanye. With Ye. I dressed up like him. I had the polo with the collar popped and the jeans and the moccasins and the loafers. I was doing it. I had that prep school boy mentality about me. That was all through high school mainly. Get out of high school, go into the Marine Corps. The albums that sustain me are the Recession, especially, and that's what I played for the most part. I played T.I., Paper Trail, but the Recession was the one that sustained me. He said, he said a lot of key things. He was very concerned. He was a conscious rapper, with a lot of bling on, or what y'all call drip now. That's part of your world. But I definitely like that idea of him being in the mix and having it go through so many different, ways of being that's a classic. I don't know if he has a monumental album. He may not have it, or he may. I'll have to look into it. He may have a monumental mixtape, but maybe not a monumental album. There's a difference. So, you go on, fast forward, 2009, 2010, who comes up? Drake. Wayne comes out of prison. Nicki Minaj, it's Young Money, Cash Money. They got artists underneath them. I don't think there's that many more left. I think they all jumped ship. But through the teens, it was all about Big Sean. It was all about Travis Scott. It was all about all these different artists that kept me motivated. I'm working. I'm washing dishes. I'm washing dishes in the kitchen. In the workplace, I'm getting paid for this. I'm getting paid for. I'm listening at the same time in my earbuds. And that was like a great moment for me. I appreciate that very much. So now, in the 2020s, the 2020s, what am I'm trying to listen to as many other worldly music stylings that I can come across. I like what Andre 3000 did. He just wanted to play a flute. It's as simple as that. He had no trouble with that. I'm trying to get into more classical music. That's my passion, really. If you don't like classical music, you're not living life. You're not living life to the fullest as much as you like. I took a beautiful white woman to the symphony, and we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time. It was wonderful. So we enjoyed ourselves a little after a while too. Wink. But it's a journey. Hip hop is a journey. Once you start it, you it's hard to finish it. It's like a lot of people compare it to bubblegum rap or or candy rap. It's just candy, it's sweet and good for the moment, but it doesn't really have any nutritional value. But I think it is, those really high end comfort food locations. Those that make macaroni and cheese and ribs and broccoli, but it's like made with saffron and truffles and things of that nature. So that's my story there. Hey, it's been a wild, fun, great ride. I thank you all for tuning in. I'll most likely see you tomorrow for Sunday Sunday update. And I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you very much. Take care.